Hello everyone and welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today I'm excited to get into this Camaro content with you and let you know everything that surprises me about my brand new 2023 2SS 1LE Camaro. Real quick though, before we get into it, thank you to my thumbs up squad for already smashing that thumbs up button. I hugely appreciate it. And for those of you who are brand new to the channel, welcome to Brink of Speed. I do Corvette and Camaro content, and I'm going to go over that here in a second. But since you're new to the channel, if you have not subscribed to Brink of Speed, we'd love to have you, so please consider doing so by smashing that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. So as you can see here, I've got my 23 Camaro and my 23 Stingray. So for those of you who think on the Corvette side that I no longer have this C8 and that I don't do C8 content anymore, that couldn't be further from the truth. I've got my C8 that I'll still do lots of content with, and I've got my new Camaro who will bring in Camaro fans as well, and I'm sure that a lot of those Camaro fans will like the 23 C8 Corvette content as well. So let's get going. I'm gonna do a cold start and then we will be on our way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I just wanted to bring you out for a quick drive. This won't be a long video at all, just to explain to you how much this car is absolutely surprising the heck out of me. It truly is surprising me how good it is. And I said this in my first initial video about the car, but now that I've got it broken in, it's got over 800 miles on it. I'm trying to get more. It has really, really surprised me. So, number one, the acceleration, in my opinion, is just off the charts. Really, really good. I mean, it's got 455 horsepower, 455 torque. It's a little over 100 pounds heavier than my C8 Corvette, but you really can't tell that it outweighs the Corvette too much. I mean, you can definitely a little bit, but mainly the difference between the acceleration in my C8 and this comes from a little extra horsepower, which it's 50 extra horsepower. No, 40 extra horsepower, and the dual clutch. The dual clutch really is what gives you that extra speed that you get up to in a quick amount of time, because it just shifts so fast. It's really difficult to shift this Camaro as fast. I can't, you can't shift it as fast as a dual clutch. So that's number one. Number two is the sound. It's actually louder than my C8 Corvette. So that actually surprised me. I didn't think that this car was gonna be that loud. And you guys can hear the snap, crackles, and pops back there. It's pretty incredible. The other thing that is interesting about this car and surprised me, that's totally different about this than the C8 Corvette, is I'm in sport mode right now. When I click the track mode, it initially feels as stiff as the ZL1 1LE. But then that initial stiffness goes away. It completely 100% goes away. And that really, really surprised me. I figured that being in track mode, it would be as stiff as it feels initially when you click it into track mode the entire time. But I mean, I'm driving in track mode still, and it really doesn't feel much stiffer than the sport mode. So I'm kind of wondering if it just realizes that, I'm on a normal road, I'm not braking hard, I'm not accelerating out of a turn hard, and I'm wondering if that mag ride will understand or realize once I do get on a track and I start taking turns and hitting the, you know, the brakes hard and everything, if it'll go back to that initial stiffness that I felt right off the bat. And I'm going to take a turn fast right here when putting it in track mode. The other thing that I found interesting is the exhaust does not get any louder that I can tell in track mode. I figured going from Tour to Sport, it gets louder, and that's correct. But then going from Sport to track, to me, it sounds exactly the same. So that was actually a surprise that it sounded exactly the same. So as you can see there, it's actually pretty simple to launch. I did not have to pedal it at all. I let the clutch out, you know, how I've always let the clutch out launching a car. It spun a little bit, but then it gripped and went. And right now we've got 91 degrees out here, so it's actually pretty simple to get good grip, especially with these sticky tires. But that's another thing that really surprised me, is how grippy the tires are and how easy it is to grip and go. For a manual, this thing actually hooks up really well. I had a complaint about the clutch being a little too soft. I like a heavier clutch. A lot of you thought that I was crazy for saying that. I'm not sure how many manuals you've driven, but if you've driven a bunch of manuals like myself, then you would know that a car with less power needs a softer, lighter, really the correct word is lighter clutch. A car with more power needs a heavier clutch. It gives you more feel when you're letting the clutch out. So I'm surprised at how easy with this light clutch it is to go ahead and launch the car. So one of the last things that really surprised me about this car, and it actually blows my mind, is the looks that this car gets. I can't tell you how many times I'm driving past another car, like just now. I mean, it was a Mustang, but the gentleman looked over and followed me through that turn. And you guys saw the Mustang on the camera, but I get little kids that are pointing at the car like crazy. And I just think that, you know, after owning so many Vettes, I had forgotten that Camaros get a lot of attention as well. But I always say I could care less about the attention, but it just always kind of takes me by surprise. It is an aggressive looking Camaro, no doubt about it. It's an aggressive looking car. I love the stance that they have put on this car initially. You know, a stock car, the tires stick out right at the fenders or a little over the fenders. That's just amazing. Another thing that I noticed is, and this surprised me, is the fuel mileage is actually not too bad. When I think back on my 405 horsepower C5 Z06, it had 50 less horsepower than this car. It would drink the gas. I mean, right now my fuel gauge is at full, and with everything that I've done, which I haven't done that much in this car so far, if this was my C5 Z06, that gauge would be on 3/4 of a tank. So this not being a Corvette with 8 gears, you know, my C8 does really well. It gets usually 250 to 260 miles on a tank, and that's driving around town mostly. But this car is different, and being a manual, it definitely gets less gas mileage than an automatic. And I'm sure the rev match doesn't help with that as well, and I always have that turned on because it's so fun. But I'm just really surprised that it gets the kind of gas mileage that it gets. And actually, last but not least, probably one of the most surprising things about this car, because I'm not gonna lie, I was really genuinely concerned about this before I bought the car. I had not sat in a Camaro in a long time. I was really worried about the comfort of the car. And I'm not kidding, this car is super comfortable, especially because it has the Alcantara suede seats. This car has phenomenal comfort, and it's such a smooth riding car. I'm in sport mode 99% of the time. If my wife is in here with me, I turn it to touring mode, and that makes it even more smooth and more comfortable. But I have to tell you, I am super comfortable in this car at all times. It is a really great surprise and a great treat. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's really going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you're a big Camaro fan, please do me a favor and consider subscribing to this channel, as I am going to have loads and loads of Camaro content coming your way. So I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the next upload.